Why does silence make people uncomfortable? Not awkward silence, not tension, not an argument, just silence. Two people sitting together, no phones, no talking, nothing is wrong, and yet something feels off. Your body shifts, your thoughts speed up, your brain starts searching for something to say, anything. Not because you suddenly have something important to add, but because silence feels like a problem that needs fixing. And most people never stop to ask why. Silence itself isn't uncomfortable. We weren't born afraid of it. As children, silence felt normal. It meant rest. It meant attention. It meant safety. But slowly we learned something else. We learned that silence means failure. Failure to entertain. Failure to connect. Failure to belong. In classrooms, silence meant you didn't know the answer. In social settings, silence meant you were being judged. In relationships, silence meant something was wrong. Over time, silence stopped being neutral. It became loaded. Now when silence appears, your brain doesn't stay quiet. It fills the gap. Did I say something wrong? Are they bored? Are they judging me? Am I being strange? These thoughts don't feel optional. They feel urgent. That's because the human brain is designed to constantly read social feedback, tone, facial expression, body language, reaction time. Silence removes all of that. No feedback means uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous, even when it isn't. This is why silence triggers overthinking. Your brain would rather assume something negative than sit with not knowing. It's why people start talking about things they don't care about, why conversations drift into small talk, why people explain themselves when no explanation is needed. Not because they enjoy filling space, but because silence feels unsafe. Notice how quickly people rush to break it. A joke that doesn't land, a comment that goes nowhere, a story that should have stayed unspoken. All attempts to escape the same discomfort. And most people mistake this for confidence. They think the confident person is the one who talks easily, quickly, without pause. But that isn't confidence. That's anxiety trying to stay ahead of silence. Real confidence looks quieter. It doesn't rush. It doesn't fill every gap. It doesn't panic when nothing is happening. People who are comfortable with silence aren't empty. They're grounded. They don't speak to prove something. They speak when something needs to be said. And because of that, when they speak, people listen. Silence creates weight. That's why confident people pause before answering. Why calm people feel present. Why stillness often feels powerful. Silence changes the balance of a conversation. When you stop rushing to fill space, the pressure shifts. The other person slows down. They listen more closely. They become more aware. Silence creates presence. This is also why silence feels different around people you trust and uncomfortable around people you don't. It isn't the silence itself. It's what you expect it to mean. There's another layer most people never notice. Silence doesn't just remove feedback from others. It removes distraction from yourself. When there's nothing to respond to, nothing to perform, nothing to fix, you're left alone with your own thoughts. And many people aren't used to that. Silence exposes insecurity, doubt, unfinished thoughts. That's why it can feel so loud inside. This doesn't mean silence is something you need to overcome. It means silence reveals what noise usually hides. And that isn't a flaw, it's information. The goal isn't to become silent. The goal is to stop fearing it. Because silence isn't a social failure. It's a pause, a breath. A neutral space where nothing needs to happen. The next time silence appears, don't rush to fill it. Notice what your mind does. Notice the assumptions that surface. Notice the urge to escape, because what makes you uncomfortable is often pointing to something you haven't learned to trust yet. And sometimes, silence isn't awkward, it's honest.